Hey, how you guys doing? Finally, almost 2 years. Star Trek Strange New Worlds finally dropped. The Cliffhanger, Hegemony, Part Two. Been a long wait, long wait. I think we've seen some growth in the writing in this. And as you guys know, I've been critical of the Gorn stuff and some other things in Strange New Worlds and Star Trek in general over the last, since January, I've been publishing things. So in this, I am amazed. This episode had a lot of sizzling flair, strong, good. Would I watch it? Hell yes. Let me explain why. Hey, Norb was Silver Aged. We look at things that have source material legacies from Golden Age of comic books, Bronze Age of comic books, TV, land, modern era TV stuff, sitcoms and stuff like that. Golden Age of TV in the 70s, Star Trek, TOS. So, this episode, Sizzling Flair, without question, awesome. The core character group, Pike, obviously, superb. Bush does an incredible job as Norse Chapel. Number one, solid. I love Ortega, the navigator, driver of the ship. Awesome. A lot of good cast members, strong acting. Uhura, I'm going to miss a few, and I apologize over this, but strong. So, as you may remember, or may not remember, Cliffhanger from last year. Basically, Pike was ordered by Starfleet to retreat, considering that members of his Lang party have been captured. Captain Patel's been infected with Gorn eggs. They're about to hatch. And the people that were on this planet have been transported to a Gorn ship. So that's where we left at. He's sitting there with a dilemma. He's pushing back and forth, and he's looking for delaying tactics, but he basically decides, okay, we're going to have to leave. But he does find a way to tag the ship so he can find them. So he leaves and goes, talks with Starfleet Command and blah, blah, blah. And they said, officially, go out there and just watch what's happening at the neutral zone line. But unofficially, make sure they're not planning to invade us and do what you need to do there unofficially. So he goes back, and obviously one of the things we do see here is young Scotty and our engineer, played by Carol Kane. They pair together well, and you can see how Carol Kane is still teaching Scotty to be the best he can be and take calculated risk and deliver timeframes. And you can see that, and especially with integrating this device that he sort of created to kind of clone the ship sensors to make them look like a Gorn vessel. So basically, they head back. He does that, through some angst. So they do that. And then you see all these ships that Gorn are floating around there. And he said, well, let's go do some probing. And before they go in, they find more and more ships. And they find the Gorn ship they're looking for that's got their crew and the people from the planet that's still surviving. And they make the decision to go in. But meanwhile, there's this little side note plot that, they hint that the Gorn get active based off of certain solar ray, cosmic ray content, but they also seem to go dormant with another piece of solar flare stuff that has the other thing that gets them quieter. So Pike learns this. They go in and they decide to try to do a rescue, but then they see there's tons of ships that are heading toward the Federation line to attack. So he's got another dilemma. Do I keep going in? But meanwhile, we go into the Gorn ship. Soon, who is
Obviously, Wrath of Khan's not descendant, predecessor, ancestor of the evil greatest villain Star Trek history. She, because of her genetic strength, she breaks through what this containing things she's in, and she releases 3 others: the Doctor, James T. Kirk's brother, and Ortega, the engine, the pilot navigator. And so they fight there. They end up finding some information. It's got all the transport coordinates where the people are, and they doing what they're doing, getting the information. They trigger an alarm, and the Gorn come after them. This is the only place we really see any interaction with the Gorn at all in this. They're chasing them. I mean, we do see some ships kind of going after Kirk and company. I'm not Kirk, but Pike and company. But hey, so that they eventually get off the ship. Meanwhile, Pike sees he's got a danger, trying to figure out how to handle this, and they're in an area where their warp drive doesn't work, and he sees all these guys doing an invasion. He knows they're not going to be able to catch up with them, and then he comes up with the strategy of, see if we can create our own mini sun and create a solar flare that maybe they'll hibernate with. So it was a risk, and there's a risk about doing this. And Scotty's pushed to the edge with the Carol Kane helping him as the engineer to do this. So that works well, and they eventually do this. And then guess what? They retcon something from Star Trek Next Generation. Hibernation. Go to sleep. One of the penultimate episodes in Next Generation history is when Picard was captured by the Borg, and they got him free. And basically, the Borg was still in a position to win. And what did they do? They said, go to sleep. Well, hey, they retconned that from the future into this. Hey, I don't care. I think that works. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And then the other piece of retconning, which I give them credit for, I was surprised. And I've been critical about this, the Gorns. The retconning, by putting them to sleep and them departing to go talk to Starfleet about this, they basically allow this to still line up to this happening, even though they kind of know about the Gorn, but they supposedly don't know it under James T. Kirk's leadership of the Enterprise. But by the fact they put them to sleep, they're not active, they're out of sight, out of mind, and they're in Pike's 5-year mission. And we know the Gorn appear in Captain James T. Kirk's first 5-year mission. So 4.5 years later, these guys are in hibernation, they come out. Okay, I applaud the solution. Thank you. Awesome, guys. I love it. My rating overall for this is, I have a 7-point scale, Latinum being the highest, platinum, all the way down to lead. Is gold, silver, bronze, tin, lead. But I'm giving this a platinum. Well done, well done. It could have been a Latinum if they had done something slightly different. In my mind, at the end, where Nurse Chapel and Spock are talking after they temporarily resolved the problem with the Gorn baby eggs being in Captain Patel, and she does a side kiss. They do a little. He walks away and disappears. At that point, they should have ended the episode, in my mind. It would have been really great. And then, at the end of the credits, do an end credits scene of everything else that just happened with Pike and Patel. I would have gone Latinum. Strongest episode that I've seen in a long, long time from Star Trek. I applaud. I want to hear your comments, everybody. Norb with Silver Age. Have a great day.